Greetings, my name is Ryan Niksch. I'm a Senior Solutions Architect with Amazon Web Services, joined here today by Mayur Shetty, who is a Senior Solutions Architect with Red Hat. Welcome, Mayur.
Thanks, Ryan.
As we modernize application workloads and we modernize processes, security becomes part of that modernization journey. At AWS, security is absolutely the first thing we focus on. And when we started talking to customers who are modernizing their security, we discovered a collection of 5 tenets, 5 things that were important to nearly every single customer. The first was customers wanted their development process to be agile, and in order to cater for that, their security processes had to be equally as agile. It didn't make sense to have the application being built out very quickly and then slow down when you get to the security side of things. If DevOps is going to be automated, security also had to be automated. So many of the checks, balances, and validations had to be automated in terms of meeting that agility. As development and the operation side of the businesses have become more continuous through that automation process, likewise security too has needed to become a continuous process, manifesting in the dev side, going into production, and then a reassessment of that security posture once an application workload is already deployed in production. The security process historically used to be teams fighting against each other. Nowadays, what we're seeing is a desire for collaboration. Developers, operations, and security teams working side by side in order to maintain the security footprint in a modern context. And finally, a desire for security to not be a gate or a hindrance, but more a prescriptive, hand-holding, guardrail type environment to nurture people through what security looks like. With all of these security tenets, we are seeing a dramatic change in what security looks like from a DevSecOps point of view. Mayur, when we look at a comprehensive container security strategy with OpenShift on AWS, we're seeing many different layers of security here. How do they manifest in OpenShift? Run us through some of the critical ones for a container journey.
So what we have is a comprehensive security solution which goes all the way from the infrastructure to the application security layer. So from an infrastructure point of view, we take care of security from a network isolation point of view. We take care of hardening. We test with various storage partners. What I'm here to talk about is the application security. And the way I look at it is the application security can be broken into 4 distinct modules. We can talk about security at a container level. We can then talk about registry and how the registry and offers security and all that things that go around with it. We can talk about security that can be introduced in the CI/CD pipeline and the lifecycle of the application. And last but not the least is the deployment of the actual containers.
All right. So if we look at the containers themselves, from their journey from the developer through the build process into a container repository, what elements of security are manifesting at this layer specifically?
Right. So when developers write their applications, they consume a number of modules and libraries, and many of which are open source. And what we don't know is, are these modules and libraries that they're using, are they really secure? Who built it? Have they gone through any security scans? We have no idea of how these libraries and modules were built. So what OpenShift does is it allows you to plug in third-party scanners. You have scanners which basically scan your application code to see if there are any known vulnerabilities. Not only that, we have annotations and a second degree of scanners which scan the libraries And these libraries are scanned on a regular basis to see if there are any existing vulnerabilities in those libraries, or if any new vulnerabilities have been introduced into those vulnerabilities during the course of the time or during the course of the container.
So is there an ideal point in time to scan these containers? How does it fit into that continuous security model that customers are looking for?
With the source to image model, customers need not know how to build their container images. What they really need to focus on is write their applications. And when they write their applications and push their code onto GitHub or any source code repository, you can have a trigger which then triggers this scanners, which will then go on to scan the application code as well as the libraries that go along to make this application and create the images based on that.
Now, those images would typically be built and stored inside a container registry. I'm assuming that there are ways in which customers can secure these container registries and things that they can do in combination with something like Red Hat Quay as a built-in container registry.
Indeed. So these images become extremely important when we're talking about immutable images. We have immutable containers where we do not want to go into those containers and fix any issues. If there are any bugs or if there's any security vulnerabilities, we want to rebuild those containers and then rebuild those images and then deploy the containers again. So with that thought in mind, registries become a very important part because that's where the images are stored. So we have the Red Hat registry where you have images for all the Red Hat applications and partner applications. These images are tested, they're supported, and they're scanned for vulnerabilities on a very regular manner. So what you have is you have an assurance that images that are used from this registry are free of any vulnerabilities or security issues. We also have the container catalog. In the catalog, what we do is we index the containers. We index based on how long and how fresh the images are. The older the images, the lower the index value. So in that sense, if you use the containers provided by Red Hat Registry, we would guarantee you that those images are well tested and supported by Red Hat. That does not mean that a customer does not have an option to use their own registry. They can very well use any third-party registry or the registry of their choice to store the images for their deployments.
From an automation perspective, Red Hat has a built-in pipelining solution built on top of Jenkins. How does this fit into the picture from an automated vulnerability and security posture assessment?
Right. Like you said, from a CI/CD pipeline point of view, OpenShift comes with Jenkins, which is pretty much the industry standard. So it's come built in. But if you have your Jenkins deployment, which you're already using, you can use your existing Jenkins pipeline and use OpenShift along with it. What we allow you to do is, or what OpenShift allows you to do is, you can plug in third-party security tools for static and dynamic scanning of your images during the various stages of your application lifestyle using the Jenkins pipelines and hooks. So that's what we can do from CI/CD point of view.
From a end-to-end process, what I'm picturing here is a developer building an application, writing just the code for the app itself, not the container, pushing that into a source code repository. I'm assuming you mentioned hooks, so we would see the pipeline detect that commit or that push into the repo, responding to it and automating some form of static content assessment. What's the next step from there?
The next step is the whole ecosystem we're talking about. We have a number of partners that are developing tools that we can plug into the CI/CD pipeline. These partners have developed security tools that come into various stages of the life cycle of the application or the CI/CD pipeline. Do you want to talk about the various partners and the ecosystem around?
I think there's a point in touching on some of these. Certainly from a static content assessment perspective, SonarQube stands out as a partner who's working with Red Hat and AWS, and when that developer pushes their code into, say, a Git repository, it assesses the code for code level vulnerabilities. On AWS, one thing that I look for is the ability to detect, has a developer accidentally put things like AWS access keys or credentials into their code, and protect against this. But once we move on from the static code assessment and we get to that container build process, we do see other partners coming into the picture as well. We're seeing Quay as that container registry coming into the element there. With the CoreOS acquisition, we've got the Claire scanner that was used, but we're also seeing other solutions such as Twistlock, CyberDuck, Aqua. There are a lot of security players in the market, and the customer can make a decision as to which one would they like to use at which point in their automation, and it's as simple as just adding that technology, that tool, that solution into their pipelining process.
That's a great introduction, Ryan. I just wanted to touch a little bit more on Quay. You mentioned the Quay, the container registry. So Red Hat has Red Hat Quay, which is Quay.io, which is an online SaaS-like service where customers can store their images, or you can have another option, which is Quay Enterprise, where they can have it in their local data center. What Quay, which is both Quay.io as well as Quay Enterprise provides you is it provides geo-replication, meaning if you're using Quay Enterprise, you could replicate your registry on your data center if you another part of the world or another part of the country. This allows you to have your repositories or your registries close to your data center. That way you don't have the delay. Also, any all the images that are in these registries are scanned on a very regular manner, so that way you're assured of the images that you're using are safe and don't have any security vulnerabilities.
So what we have here is, as a customer, I can choose, do I want the registry in my own environment, or do I want to take advantage of almost a managed service, deferring some of the heavy lifting around my registry and making sure that is available.
That's right. That's very true.
The replication of those registries to different locations, in my mind, that translates to getting those registries closer to the clusters that are going to consume them, as well as adding in an element of resilience?
Yes. Because of the geo-replication, you don't have a single point of failure. So you don't, if your site goes down, you don't lose all your registries and your production is not down. So that also adds resilience along with security.
This is also very attractive to customers who are geo-dispersed in terms of function. For example, we have customers where the development teams exist in completely different parts of the world from where the applications are running from a production context. So developers can build out the applications, push those applications into containers close to them. Those will then replicate to the other side of the world where they are used in a production context, if you will.
That's right. That's a great value add for customers.
As modernization of applications, platforms and solutions continues, security is by no means isolated. We are seeing vast changes in terms of how companies are integrating their security, automating it, and making sure that security happens from the very first developer action all the way through to production in an automated and ongoing fashion. Red Hat and AWS are combining to bring these elements together for their customers. Mayur, thank you very much for joining us once again.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.